You have an unhealthy relationship with media and it's time that we talk about it. I saw this tweet while I was doom scrolling on Twitter. A review from Author vs. Dragon, by the way. This is why One Piece fans are genuinely the worst fandom, even worse than Boruto fans somehow. And why I will never finish watching One Piece, won't even watch a single episode from the remake. And the review is just somebody posting an AI generated, I don't know, summary of One Piece, I guess. But this tweet was weird to me because I do understand this frustration with the One Piece fandom. They are weirdos. Like, it's not even an argument. One Piece fans are stupid. But what stood out to me is that this person says that the One Piece fandom is the reason why he will never finish One Piece or even watch one episode of the One Piece remake. In my opinion, this is strange because One Piece as a show actually has nothing to do with the One Piece fandom. And when I say it has nothing to do with the One Piece fandom, I'm saying that the show exists independently of the fandom and that the fandom is not a representation of the quality of the show. I'm saying this as a One Piece hater. I believe that One Piece is pretty bad, but that's not because of the fandom. It's because of the actual content of the show, but I digress. I want to talk about this mentality of looking at anime, TV shows, and any form of media through a tribal lens because it has gotten out of hand. The fandom of One Piece shouldn't stop you from watching One Piece because you not watching One Piece only affects you. It's not a gotcha moment on the One Piece fans that you're not gonna watch One Piece. Now, I want to speak broadly when I say that because truthfully, I don't really believe that One Piece is gonna bring you a lot of entertainment. But you're only affecting yourself by not engaging with a show because of the fandom. The same thing happened with My Hero Academia. Some people refuse to watch My Hero Academia because of the fandom, and just like One Piece fans, yes, My Hero Academia fans are weird. They are weird, but that's not a reason for you to not watch the show. You never actually have to engage with the fandom of a show. There's been so many animes I've watched that I've never interacted with the fandom, and it has not changed my enjoyment of the show. One of my favorite animes are Full Metal Alchemist, and I have not engaged with the fandom at all. Not because it's a bad fandom or anything, I just don't really feel the need to. It's a good show. Now, don't get me wrong, I fully understand wanting to interact with the fandom of a show because that's a part of the culture, but that shouldn't be what makes or breaks you watching the show. Is that a correct sentence? That shouldn't be what makes or break. Anyways, I want to bring up another tweet. Maybe a hot take, but one of the worst things about gaming becoming mainstream is much of its fandom stopped being nerds, nerding out about stuff, and became like sports, pack mentality, my team versus your team vitriol, and yelling and spite, zero nuance. This person is talking about gaming, but I do believe that this applies to almost any type of media now because it just does. I don't know why. I hate it. People have made the shows that they watch a part of their identity. That's why when somebody critiques anything people like, they take it as a personal attack on their identity and character. And I get it. Sometimes it can be hard to hear somebody critique or talk bad about something that helped you through tough times. I get that. But that's not an excuse to not take a step back and realize what you're doing. Like, there's no way that you should be sending death threats because somebody said that they didn't like One Piece. Come on now. Even if it's hate, you really shouldn't get mad about somebody saying something bad about your favorite show. Maybe I'm just looking at this through a lens of maturity that a lot of people don't have, but I feel like this should be common sense, but apparently it's not because everybody is doing this right now. And I also want to make it perfectly clear that I'm not talking about banter here. I'm not talking about people saying Goku solos or like why be better, young boy better, because that's clearly jokes. They are not being serious, or I mean they could be serious, but like they're saying it in a joking manner, so it's really not that deep. I'm talking about people taking it to the extremes. I'm talking about sending death threats, doxing people, just doing the absolute most. I don't understand that. So please, if you're one of the people that get upset when people say something about your favorite show, or if you're one of the people that take it to the extremes and like dox and send death threats, please just reconsider what you're actually doing because you're not getting paid from this. You are not getting paid for this. So please, just do better. Now, before I end this video, I do want to speculate on why this has become a thing. I believe that it's a multitude of reasons, lockdown being one of them. The current economical and political state of the world is definitely one of those things because American politics has kind of made everything into us versus them, and it's just, I don't know. This might need its own video because this can go really deep. I also believe that the collective somewhat depression is also a part of it. I also believe that the collective loneliness epidemic. Not just the loneliest male epidemic, but the loneliness epidemic as a whole is definitely a part of it. I believe that there's so many different factors as to why this has become a thing, but it is a thing and I need it to stop. Yeah.